Hello and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It's Thursday, February 20th, 2025. I am J.R. Stays, coming to you from our studio at Techtown in beautiful Detroit, Michigan, where life is worth living, and living life in Detroit with me is none other than the Prince of Brightmoor himself, Norris Howard. How are you? I see that your bags are packed.
Yeah, man, I'm about to be in New York for a few days. Wanted to check it out. You know, I've never been to New York in the wintertime, so I wanted to check it out, hit the reset button on a lot of things, refresh myself by going to the Big Apple and coming back with my findings.
Are you going to see the giant pigeon on the High Line? I want to go see the giant
Probably,
pigeon.
yes. I probably will go see the giant pigeon, yes.
I'm jealous of you.
Hey, it is what it is, my man.
I wanted to start. We're going to talk about a few things in this episode. We're going to talk about your feedback from the whole downtown Apple Store thing that occurred. We're going to talk about our new website. But first, a development I wanted to highlight. It's tangentially Detroit news. Very tangentially.
Yeah.
But I know our audience is very train friendly.
Detroit adjacent.
Yes. An announcement came through on Wednesday that the Canadian government has allocated design funds for a 620-mile high-speed rail system that's going to go up to 186 miles an hour. It will be known as ALTO. It'll run from Quebec City through Peterborough and Ottawa, and then all the way to Laval and Trois-Rivières. I should know this better. My father was born in Montreal.
Trois-Rivières.
Thank you.
Three rivers.
I am sorry,
Three
Dad.
rivers.
Thank you. There will be design and development over the next 6 years. Estimates are that it's going to be a lot of money to build this thing, but it's a visionary look. And the reason I mention it is because there has been so much talk about a Chicago to Detroit Toronto train line that would actually have a stop at the Michigan Central campus.
Yes.
So you could hop that line and then take high-speed rail from Detroit, in theory, in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, listen, I think this would be magnificent. And, you know, Canada, once again, proven that has its head on straight. And moving forward with something that we have been needing in North America in general for a very, very long time. Listen, this is a very large continent, and Canada's a very large country, and the vast majority of it lives in Ontario and Quebec. And by connecting these with high-speed rail, you connect all of those population centers from Toronto to the capital, Ottawa, to Montreal, to Quebec City. All of that is incredible. And I think having that already starting in Canada, and with our economies kind of being so intertwined, I think it would behoove the state of Michigan, the state of Illinois, and others to see if we could come together. Listen, it seems like we're going to have a lot more regional cooperation between states in America moving forward. And I think the Rust Belt can get it together and really become a economic powerhouse through the connection of things like rail. And guess what? We got the infrastructure for it already. We just got to make it better and modernize it all.
Let's get to your feedback, because a lot of people had a lot of thoughts around the news that the Apple Store is in fact coming to downtown Detroit. We talked about it on the show on Monday with Cheyenne, but I wanted to talk about the feedback with you because you are in fact a downtown resident. You could wake up in the morning and walk out the door. Not that you would, because you're a Google guy.
Yeah.
But you could walk out the door and buy somebody else an Apple Watch when this is.
Well, I wouldn't do that. But the point is that this is going to be a great boon. And I think it's really important for us to kind of recognize the significance of something like Apple Store downtown. Now, obviously, other downtown areas have multiple Apple stores in other cities, but we know that we're kind of playing catch up here in the city of Detroit. But what makes this dope is that it's the first step in providing amenities, full-blown amenities for downtown residents. Listen, this is my second stint living in downtown Detroit, and the first time around was significantly rougher. It was harder to get groceries. It was harder to find, a SD card if I needed one, or a USB cable.
Do you remember that weird little store that was at the bottom of what was the Washington what was it called back in the Trolley Plaza?
The Trolley Plaza.
There was that weird little electronics store that sometimes would have things.
Yeah, but that's long gone by
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time I lived there. But, there used to be a Radio Shack downtown and,
RenCen.
yeah, and it's gone now. So, you think about stuff like that and what it's able to provide to residents. Listen, we all need certain stuff. Having something like H&M downtown where you can get quick, fast fashion is important. Having, bodegas and grocery stores downtown is incredibly important. I think per capita, we don't have enough coffee places downtown.
Really? That's a bold take.
I honestly don't think we have enough. You should be able to, I am a firm believer that in any downtown, you should be able to walk no more than 2 blocks and get to coffee. That is my take. So we don't even have enough coffee downtown, to be perfectly honest, or diners or eateries. So for me, we're nowhere near full capacity. The Apple Store is a great step in the right direction to getting people to buy in to downtown fully.
Let's hear from the listeners. I've got a wide variety of feedback. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First off, I'll call it the easy food.
Easy food. So your McDonald's, Burger King, Subway.
A lot of people saying that they want the Burger King, especially with the idea that the RenCen will no longer have, like the RenCen used to have the McDonald's and all those things. They say they want a big city one. Think about Times Square. Think about other places. Other people are like, I want Burger King over Shake Shack. I'm not interested in Shake Shack. I want Burger King.
That's, first of all,
I remember a Hardee's downtown. I remember the McDonald's downtown. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to just say this. If you picking McDonald's over Shake Shack, that's a mistake. And I advise you to think otherwise. However, Shake Shack is more expensive, so I get it. I think this is not as bad of a take as certain people will take it. I do think that it is important for fast food options to be in your downtown core because you need consistency. And that's actually what fast food provides to a lot of people. If you live in Texas, that you could go to Detroit and go to McDonald's and everything is the same. It's the same stuff. And that's really important if we're going to continue to support all these hotels, these events, these concerts, sporting events, the draft, all that stuff. To be able to have a McDonald's and a Pizza Hut and all that kind of stuff downtown to provide that sort of regular food.
A lot of shout outs for Taco Bell and Taco Bell Cantina.
Do a cantina. Do a cantina. Yeah. I would be down for that. Listen, it's needed.
You travel a lot.
Yeah.
That stuff's everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's just table stakes.
Panera, you need one of them. Like, you need a ton of stuff. Actually, I would push
to soups in bread bowls.
I would push Panera to the side, and I want a Pret. I want a Pret a manger. That's what I want in downtown Detroit.
We're gonna go all over the map. Erewhon, the grocery store. It's a high-end grocery store. It's got like 10 spots in California. I had to look it up. I'm not familiar. It does have $20 smoothies.
I need less California in my Michigan. Okay. Like, I would much prefer us to have more of, Target or Kroger or something like that downtown than to have like a super boutique grocery store.
That said, a number of people said a full Myers.
Where you gonna put it?
I don't think there's a Meijer urban. I feel like a lot of your concerns about, because City Target did not come up once in this list.
It should have been.
I feel like a lot of your concerns about having gone to City Targets, having actually used them for what they're supposed to, a lot of your concerns, because there's the Rivertown Market, which is by Meijer, but it doesn't have all the other things that a Meijer has.
Yeah.
I think a lot of your concerns about what a full Meijer would have would be handled by a City Target.
I agree.
But if Meijer wanted to try an urban concept, why not be the first?
I mean, listen, the thing for me and what people are talking about is, you go there, you buy some clothes, you get your household goods, stuff like that. I agree. That needs to be down there because there's kind of not a good place to get home goods downtown.
What do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do?
I get my home goods when I'm going elsewhere, which sucks. And I hate that I have to do that, but it is, outside of stuff, cleaners and stuff like that, you can get from anywhere. But like, yeah, if I need to get like a chair or like a strainer, yeah, man, I gotta go to, the Meijer out there in the suburbs. So it's not fun. I don't want to do that. So my concern is where do you put it? And I think Meijer will have to rethink how it does stuff, but a City Target would solve a lot of what people are talking about.
Sprungly, which I had to look this up. This is a chocolatier. It has stores in like Switzerland and Munich and things like that. But here in America, it would be the Lindt store, which there is one in New York City.
Like the Linder chocolates.
Yeah. Like yeah, it's on 34th Street.
Yeah, nah, man, just go to Canal, whatever. Like
Fair point. Canal is really good.
Go to Canal. Like the way I feel about it is we not there yet, y'all. Like, let's get some very basic thing. Let's learn to walk before we run, okay? Like I know we asked y'all, what do you want? But I think what I want is a fully functioning downtown first, and a chocolatier spot is nowhere near the top of my list.
A couple of people made the point, and I did miss it. I had forgotten when we were recording. Dan Gilbert had talked about recently as 2023, a Levi's and a Lego. So Cheyenne had put up the Lego store. Dan Gilbert had also talked about a Levi's.
I like that. I like both of those ideas because, again, you need kind of like the straightforward retail, regular retail. Like not everybody, listen, H&M, whether it is fast fashion and cheap, is not for everybody. You know what I mean? So they're not going to shop there. Certain stores like your Zara's and whatnot, not for everybody. Everybody's going to want a pair of, 5-on-1s. Like,
I remember talking to Jennifer from Ask Jennifer, All Things Detroit. I remember a joke conversation we had a while back going, where can I get pants?
Where can I get pants?
I need pants. And now that was before the Carhartt store opened.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Carhartts right now because that's where I can get pants.
Yeah. And unless you want to be Nike Tech all day, every day.
Do I look like a Nike Tech?
You're not.
Guy?
No, Jerry, you're definitely not going to. If I saw you in some Nike Tech, like we got to make a whole skit out of it. As a matter of fact, listeners, let's get Jerry some Nike Tech and see what happens. But now we got to take you to the east side. We got this a whole thing.
The east side's my home though.
I know, but
I'll go anywhere on the east side.
We do a skit on the east side with you wearing some Nike Tech.
I'll wear Nike Tech to the reopening of Capers.
Nah, man, you need to take
Steak
some
by
Nike.
the ounce with a drunk duck.
No, I'm talking. If you wearing all Nike Tech, bro, we going to Asian corned beef is where we going.
I had that in so long, but it's so good. It is so bad for you health wise, but so good.
I know.
This one is from Mr. Span, who's got his own podcast. Shout out to him. A Google store across the street from the Apple store. Troll it.
Yes. Make
like
it happen.
That. I like that because when I was in Chicago, I think it was Chicago. No, it was New York. I was over by a Google store, right? That had the Google offices upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually kind of cool.
I just want that to play out. Like I just want to see. First of all, as a Google person, I want to be able to go and get all things, Google and all my PC related stuff at the Google store. But also, again, options, amenities. If you want to be able to get the stuff you need to live life, which now tech is a part of that. If you got an Apple store, you're going to need a Google store.
A normal shoe store. Not like there are things out there like City Slickers?
Yeah. But we need like Foot Locker.
Right. Like whether it's Foot Locker or some sort of smaller DSW or even a shoe store that is more brand specific, but it isn't necessarily about you got to spend $200 for a shoe.
Like you get a Skechers store or something like that.
I will say, shout out if you don't know, and I understand if you wouldn't, Run Detroit exists.
Yes, it does. But also there's a definitely more high-end shoe.
But they'll fit you in everything.
Yeah.
You can go there and you don't have to spend $200 there.
You don't have to, but are you about to find like
it's going to be a serious shoe, though.
Yeah, but are you going to find like, your 5-year-old some shoes right there? No, probably not.
My shoe problem is that I'm a Cole Haan Zero guy. There's nowhere within 15 miles to buy unless I want to buy online.
Nope, Nordstrom Rack's for you.
Yeah, because it's a good shoe. It lasts a long time.
As a
It's
matter
not
of fact,
crazy. I cannot buy
Nordstrom Racks downtown. There you go. Nordstrom Racks. There you go. Put it right there in the Hudson's.
Speaking of fashion, Uniqlo.
Oh my! I will tear this mic from the table. I love Uniqlo. That is part of why I'm going to New York. Is because I want to go to Uniqlo.
Why? Enlighten me.
Because it's cheap basics, but then also if you really want to step it up, you can. Their base layers are amazing. And I am a big fan of the dark academia fashion style, and they have a ton of that stuff. And it just, as a smaller dude, the stuff just fits me good. And it's lasted forever. I got t-shirts that I've had from Uniqlo for almost a decade now that look exactly the same as the day I bought them.
I'm eternally jealous of you and Devin O'Reilly because both of you can wear clothes that I can never touch.
Yeah, we got small man clothes. Yeah,
You can fit into things. I always have to get things with like a P on them for portly.
you do.
Right? Or I learned about XB, so I'm a 2XB for big because I got
wow.
there's and regular like tall doesn't fit me right because it's too narrow.
It's too narrow,
But
yeah.
the regular doesn't fit just the way that I am. So I always have to go with the XB.
Because that's like wide man clothes.
That's what I am. And no matter how much weight I lose, that's what I am.
Yeah.
And so it really, you have to be very careful. I end up shopping all the time on like Poshmark or something else.
Interesting. But yeah, I think a Uniqlo in downtown Detroit would be incredible. Give me another option at H&M. Let's do it. I love that idea. 1,000%.
Finally, this was a overwhelming sentiment. More local Detroit grown businesses. Bring back the Detroit is the new black, other things. There's not enough of that.
Yes.
I think we addressed that in the initial episode with the idea of having retail spaces that fit smaller spaces, and that challenge that's so frustrating. I know that there's many causes of it, and you can interpret it in many directions, but I know from talking to so many businesses, foot traffic is a issue, and so getting that density going would really help those smaller businesses. I know that sounds counterintuitive.
No, but it's like you gotta have you gotta have the big destination stores to allow people to. You need to have that moment of like, oh, that's cute. Like it's part of. Remember when over by Third Man with like City Bird and Nest first went in, and like all the students and the people who were like the early Midtown people were down there, and it was okay, City Bird and Nest. Those places are nice.
Yeah.
And, they built the Auburn over there. And it's like all those stores benefit from okay, that's nice. Like, because people are kind of just moving through because there's stuff already over there.
Not to the specific, but the genre. Speaking of shoes, it is crazy to me that places like Burn Rubber in the suburbs.
Well, they were there because they were there in recession.
Whole number of Royal Oak.
In the recession era. So, like, I think that was just, they went where the money was. But on top of that, I think, could you make a new one down here? Sure. Could you do something different? Could they open an annex store? Small frontage, nothing too crazy. Yeah, absolutely could do it. So, I think, but to that point, we need to have the anchor stores in order to create the foot traffic for those smaller stores. And then I think we'll be in a good place. I think we really don't know what's about to happen until after the Hudson's opens. I think once that opens and they get their first few anchor stores or anchor tenants, it's going to be really interesting to see kind of what happens because with GM moving in there, the foot traffic of sort of central downtown is definitely going to be stepped up.
I do want to mention real quick that we have a new website.
That's right.
dailydetroit.com. It has a whole new look to it. If you are a fan of some transit ideas, you might actually see some transit inspired things in the design, and that each post is a stop that you can make along the way. It was a lot of work to put this thing together, and we have big plans and big ideas that I think we'll talk about more on another episode. But I wanted to share that it is out there. It's very mobile friendly. We are updating it regularly. And I'm really proud of the work that everybody did to really, we need to type in the text boxes that support us by our members on patreon.com/dailydetroit or our local sponsors and not focus solely on companies that do not need our time and attention. And they don't need our money. They're fine.
Yeah.
Like the Facebooks, the X's, everything else, they're fine. They don't need us.
No, but we need you.
That's really true. And that's one of the reasons why we're focusing on writing in text boxes and speaking into microphones and making videos in places that our community actually sees it. Because the reality is local media is always at a disadvantage on the social web because the maximum audience that can see that local information is inherently smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go semi-viral, we don't really go viral, but semi-viral. We'll get 1 million views. We'll get 700,000 views. We'll get 300,000 views on something. Very quickly, it goes into I'm in Tempe, Arizona, and this is what the building looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wonderful and great to see you. But we're here to serve Metro Detroit. We're to serve our community, and an algorithm that focuses on the national. We've got to do better if we want to save local media. We've got to take the bull by the horns and say that we're going to do it ourselves.
Absolutely, Jared. Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend.
So check it out, dailydetroit.com. If you've got questions, let me know. There's a bigger thought behind all of it. I'm going to write up a newsletter about it because I have some strong feelings. But for now, I'm Jared Stace.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Thank you so much for listening to Your Daily Detroit. Don't forget to leave 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around town.